Hi folks, Wednesday morning here. Got Matt on Dylan to help me ride Hotlips today. I saddled her at the house and she did fine, you know, let me catch her, saddle her easy enough. But I'm gonna take her and put her in a little almost round pen and move her around a little bit and just make sure she's paying attention and all that. We've had a couple nice days here. It's been extremely windy here for the last 3 days, but it's been abnormally warm, scratching 70. Last night it got below freezing for the first time in a few nights, and this morning is pretty chilly also. So little Hotlips here is feeling pretty good. I think how I'm gonna do this, because you guys have seen plenty of my perspective of riding her, I think once we go to get on her, I will give the camera, oh, stop. I will give the camera to Matthew and try and get her first ride from an outside perspective. That way you guys can see how she's moving, and, you know, mainly Hotlips, come on. That way if something gets really interesting, hopefully we'll get it on camera. I don't expect to, but with colts you never know. I've tried to not shortcut her anywhere. She's a little bit different than Rush. With Rush, he was so gentle and easygoing about everything that you could get away with just climbing on him and going. First time I rode him outside, I didn't have anybody around and anything like that. But with her, the type of horse she is, if you shortcut her anywhere, you're just gonna build big holes in her that are gonna come out and cause problems later. Anyways, I'm gonna grab my buggy whip, my driving whip, and flag her around just a little bit. We'll catch you guys in a second. All right, we got her moved around a little bit. I'm gonna get on her in this little round pen for just a second or two, make sure she remembers what she's doing. I'm pretty sure she will. See, I got a halter and some boots and stuff on the ground. I don't worry about making it perfectly clean for them, because where my horses are gonna go, they don't get a perfectly groomed arena. Get her used to seeing stuff on the ground that she might kick on accident. It'll just prevent a wreck later in life. Well, anyways, I'm gonna kind of flag her around, or not flag her around, just move her around on the ground a little bit with this hack, make sure she remembers it, and then get on her. You up there, sweetie? You know this side now? See, we got the rosin jaws feeding in the background. I love rosin jaws. Corey! That one knows my name. That rosin jaw's happy I welded up a nice gate. Okay.
I think he's yelling about the coyote.
Oh, is there a coyote out there?
Yeah.
Been a bad year for coyotes. Well, they're gonna feed and do whatever else, but I don't see why that should stop us. So, Matt, if you would open that gate to the inside and open the next gate to the outside, we'll get to going. Alrighty, we got the gates open. Feed crew's feeding cows. We're gonna go see what happens here. She's pretty good spirits, pretty good mood right now. I'm just gonna let her follow Dylan. I'm gonna just let her take her time, and if she wants to stop and look at something, I'll make sure and let her. It's all new to her. Okay, go ahead, go down on the field, Matt. Just letting her follow Dylan, and hopefully Dylan won't lead me astray. This ground right here was muddy at one time, and the cows walked through it, so it's got a lot of little holes and stuff, and she's never had to walk on anything like this, so I'm gonna just make sure and just let her ease through it if she wants to. She don't seem too bothered by it. She's pretty interested in what the feed crew's doing. Wants to pull on me to look at the hay crew over there, the feed crew, so just reminding her that she needs to pay attention to the hackamore. Glad she notices things like that, though. It means it's a lot less that she'll worry about once she gets a little bit more experience.
Do you like taking a extra horse or a horse that's used to everything for their first ride out?
It depends on the colt. With Rush, I didn't need to. With her, yes, she kind of needs that to drag her along, and especially a big calm horse like Dylan is, it'll keep her a little bit calmer if, you know, something should decide to be scary to her.
Having another horse that doesn't spook at something, when she spooks at something, she kind of realizes, oh wait, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. No, like Rush, he was so level-headed and easy about everything. I didn't worry about it at all. I just got on him and went. It's really dependent by the horse. As with everything with horses, there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Exactly.
All I'm doing is just kind of trying to keep her between my reins really, really loosely. Kind of say I'm not too worried about it. But I'm just letting her go with Dylan. I don't care really where she goes, as long as she's not pulling on me or, you know, being goofy or anything like that. You seen her wanting to trot off a second ago, and that wasn't spooking. That was just, she kind of felt good and felt like going, but you just, right now, I'm not worried about making her trot. But when she did that, you just circle her around to a stop with one rein. She doesn't know what a 2-rein stop is right now, so she won't know that for a while. Where she 1-rein stop them.
Well, and it's cold and windy. They feel good on days that...
Yeah, they're fresh. Matt, this next check, why don't you turn up it?
Okay.
And then just hit a real easy trot.
Okay.
We'll see what happens here. Don't no ground pounder, just just to move a little bit. If she starts getting ahead of me or something, I'll just bend her around to a stop. If you see me doing that, just slow Dylan up.
Okay, we can do that.
Probably this check here's got less badger holes.
Okay.
Pretty comfortable. Not gonna go super far here. I like to one rein stop, if possible, away from the horse I'm riding with. So I'm gonna move her around here now. Just let Dylan stand right there. She sees some cows. She wants to go play with those cows, but we're not ready for that yet. She's doing good.
Why do you like to do a one rein away?
Because if you pull, so you do a one rein stop because she doesn't know what a two rein stop is. And horses being a herd animal, I'm not necessarily trying to stop her as I am just break the trot, break the momentum. And horses being a herd animal, if I pulled her into your horse, she's gonna go faster to get to your horse. Where if I pull her away, she's gonna say, hey, I'm getting further away from that friend over there. I'm gonna stop, and it makes an easier stop and less pressure on the whole thing once it's said and done. And if you get in the habit of stopping towards a horse, and you get on something and he runs off a little bit, and your reactions to one rein him right into the horse you're riding with, you're gonna have a wreck. It's never fun when another horse is in your saddle with you.
No, it is not.
I'm gonna give her a little rest right here. Just let her look, let her smell, let her think. You know, some guys, like, they get on a colt and they're so worried about moving their feet constantly that the horse never gets time to think. And you get 15, 20 rides on them, and somebody shows up and hands you a cold beer, and you just sit on that colt, and about halfway through that beer, that colt realizes he's got time to think and bad things happen. I'd rather just let her learn to think all the time like this. She's really interested in those cows. Her first ride out like this, I let her look at those cows like that. I don't need to go try and do anything with them. You know, no sense in taking a deliberate chance. Hey, give me that. Deliberate chance to overload her. If it was her second or third ride out, well, yeah, we'd go right. Come on. We'd go right through them and see what happens. But I'm pretty happy with how she's doing so far.
I think she's doing great.
She wants to wander around again, but she can learn just to stand here and just be a horse.
Well, and learn to stand is a good thing, because there's sometimes where you need a horse to stand still when you're in a gate or other situations, and you don't want them constantly moving around.
Right. Patience is a virtue. You know, and I don't have any problems at any stage of a horse's life tying him to a real stout fence for a couple hours. You guys have seen me do that with even young ones like Trapper John a month or two ago or whatever it was. You know, if you have horses from the time they're born like this and you don't do anything with them, well, all of a sudden you've got a 3-year-old on your hands that you can't handle, and you know he's a terrorist. I'd rather just start small with them, but let them know what I expect of them. All right, we can just head back to the corral. By the time we get back to the corral, I'll just ride her into the corral. I'll have you shut the gate behind me, and then I'll just step off her, and that's plenty for this ride. She's not even, she'll be a 3-year-old here. What's February, March, April? I think she's like 60 days or a little bit more for being a 3-year-old, so she's small, young, her bones are soft, her growth plates are wide open right now. There's no sense in doing any more. Let me
She's done great. Doesn't need any extra. Hey, you need to pay attention. Do this right.
No, there's no sense of pick and fight with her. So we did a little bit of trotting. You know, she wanted to do a little bit more than trotting, which makes me happy. But also, I didn't ask her for it, so I don't want to let her do it. You know, maybe in a ride or two, when she's real comfortable with just trotting out, maybe we'll ask her to lope then. Some guys say walk, trot, lope the first time you get on them. If that's your program, great. Mine's different. You know, my opinions are mine and my way of doing it's mine. And if you like it, great. And if you like another way that works for you, as long as it works for you, that's great too.
Like you said in the previous video, different isn't wrong.
Oh, exactly. You know, and the easiest way, I'm not saying this to get to sound cocky or big-headed or anything, but the easiest way to get handy is to pay attention to people that are handier than you.
Yep.
And nobody ever got handy riding cream puffs. Go ahead and get on that horse that's too much for you. Go ahead and get on that horse if you're physically able, that's gonna buck and maybe buck you off. Because it'll take, and I went through this, those of you who know me will know who and where I'm talking about. But I went through that for a couple of years, riding horses that were above and beyond my ability, and it made me step up. And it made me who I am. You know, if I would have just had a whole string of broke, gentle horses, all I'd have been able to ride was broke, gentle horses. So I guess in a really weird roundabout way, I'm thankful for the buck-offs and the wrecks and everything like that. You know, if you got weak bones, or you know, you decide that your horsemanship's not worth risking all like that, well, I respect that. Just get on something then that's not gonna buck, but maybe doesn't know as much as whatever you were riding last. That way you have to help the horse out. You can further yourself that way too. Doing so good, little girl.
I don't remember who said it, but there's a saying that is a good horseman is that you teach your horse something new and you learn something new every ride.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know, if you stop learning, you might as well not even throw a saddle on one's back. Like this ride, even just on her right now, the way she has to really watch this uneven pockmarked ground like this. Well, now I know next colt I start, I need to bring them out here and let them walk around in it so they see it, they get used to it before I get on them. Oh, there's grass down there. Did you guys know that? There's grass down there. I don't let horses eat when I ride them, but I also don't want to just make her brain mad at me and overloaded and all that. So. Now the reason I'm going to have Matt shut the gate before I step off her is I don't expect her to do anything, but I've had colts in the past when you step off they can get kind of dumb, and I'd rather have her get dumb in a closed corral than in a field like this.
Well, it's also good for them to get used to something closing behind them.
Yeah. I mean, there's an ocean on either side. She's not going to get away. But we can mitigate wrecks too. Okay, I did give her just a touch of a 2-rein right there, but it was just to keep her in line. But I'm turning her around there, see her? Bump her around this way here. Then like I explained the first time I rode her, how I like to get off colts is I'll get my reins gathered up good and short. I'll let them get standing square. I'll take my feet, if I ride right there, I'll take my feet and just put my big toe in the ball of my foot in both stirrups is all. Then I'll rock it once, twice, third time, and step off. All one motion on the fourth time. And that was Hotlips' third ride. She did great. Pretty excited for her. So, just like normal, it'll be a week or 2 or 3 or whatever before I ride her again. I have no problem giving one a good experience and turning them out and let them think about it. They seem to come back better every time. For those of you that are new to the channel, I appreciate you being here. Make sure and do the subscribe and like and comment with any questions you got. Hotlips is a half draft. She's half quarter horse and half Clydesdale. The stud horse, his name is Battle River Inc. He's from the Razorglass Ranch. Wendy is the owner there, and Paul. I'm not ignoring Paul. If you look them up, if you'd like to make a half draft or whatever of your own, she will ship cooled semen for you to AI with. And if you mention my YouTube channel, you'll get $50 off of that breeding. And I believe she's taking reservations for breeding season right now. And of course, breeding season's starting here real quick. But make sure and just keep tuning in. This video this Friday will be back out at the Colby Cattle Company. It was a cold week out there. I expected it to be a lot nicer, and by the time I drove out there, it was winter, and you guys seen that. We got some remnant gather going on out there, and some of those cattle don't always play by the rules. The first day went really nice, and we'll see how it goes the second day. Adios.